If you've ever looked at your team and thought, man, we have so much talent here, but we are just kind of stuck, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to dig into how you can stop wasting all that intellectual capital and seriously boost your team's output. We're talking about taking a super simplified look at competencies, shifting your leadership mindset, and driving a massive ROI without hiring a single new person. Let's get right into it.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll start by checking out the capability crisis, introduce the traffic signal approach to fix broken competency models, compare multipliers to diminishers, explore how to become a talent magnet, and wrap up with driving real ROI. All right, part 1, the capability crisis. Before we can fix anything, we have to face a pretty harsh reality about how talent is mismanaged in the modern workforce. Check out this staggering stat. Based on hundreds of executive assessments, managers are tapping into just 66% of their people's capability. Think about that for a second. You are literally paying a full dollar, but you're extracting only 66 cents in value. That is a 34% waste of pure brain power. Productivity expert David Allen really hits the nail on the head here. He says we're facing new demands, insufficient resources. It's that classic pressure to do more, right? But the crazy thing is, the genius we actually need is already in the building, sitting right in front of us. Our systems are just totally failing to access it. And a big part of the problem? Our own tools. Deloitte found that a whopping 65% of companies think their competency models are just completely outdated. They've turned into these massive static checklists that slow everyone down and totally misdirect our training budgets. So, how do we strip away all that noise and figure out what actually matters? That brings us to part 2, the traffic signal approach. Instead of demanding that everyone masters 100 different things on some giant corporate spreadsheet, this approach simplifies the whole thing. It uses a practical, color-coded system so you can zero in on what actually drives results, even if you only have a quick 15-minute check-in with your team.
It breaks down like this. Red light competency are your absolute must-haves. These are the non-negotiable make-or-break skills for the business. Amber lights are your should-haves, like adaptability. These are the things that separate a consistent worker from a future leader. And green lights, those are good to have. Great for long-term coaching, sure, but not essential for today's survival. By sorting skills this way, you instantly know exactly where to focus your training budget. Always hit the red first.
And this framework is a huge lifesaver because it helps us dodge the halo effect. We've all seen this. Someone is an amazing presenter, and that one shiny skill totally blinds us to the fact that they're dropping the ball on the core requirements of their job. The traffic signal method keeps us grounded. It forces us to ask, are they actually delivering on those red light skills, or are we just hypnotized by their green ones? Now on to part 3, multipliers versus diminishers. Because honestly, having the right competencies doesn't mean a thing if your leadership style is quietly shutting them down. This is where we have to look at some incredible research from Liz Wiseman's book, Multipliers. She found that leaders basically fall into 2 camps, those who drain the intelligence right out of a room and those who amplify it. The difference really boils down to mindset. A diminisher secretly thinks, my team is never going to figure this out without me. So they just use people, blame them when things go wrong, and dictate every single decision. But a multiplier, complete opposite. They assume people are smart and will figure it out, so they develop their team, treat mistakes as learning moments, and actively consult their people. This completely changes how you build a team. Diminishers act as empire builders. They hoard top talent in little silos just to look good, essentially creating places where careers go to die. Multipliers are talent magnets. Brilliant people absolutely flock to them because they know they're going to be pushed to their highest potential and prepped for that next big step. All right, part 4, becoming a talent magnet. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, obviously I want to be a talent magnet, but here's the crazy, slightly terrifying plot twist. You might actually be a diminisher completely by accident. Wiseman identified these 4 accidental diminishers, and the kicker is they all come from really noble intentions. You've got the rescuer, who hates seeing people struggle, so they swoop in to help, making the team totally dependent. The pace setter runs so fast out front that the team just gives up and watches. The rapid responder answers every email instantly and creates a massive bottleneck. And the optimist is so relentlessly positive that they accidentally dismiss the team's real struggles. Bottom line, if the leader is always on, everyone else turns off. So how do we break these habits? I want you to ask yourself this right now. How would you coach your team if you were literally never allowed to step onto the playing field? Answering that forces you to shift from being a micromanager to an investor. You start asking Socratic questions and building independence so your team can win even when you aren't in the room. Which brings us to part 5, driving the ROI. Let's pull this all together. What happens when you combine that clear traffic signal competency model with the mindset of a multiplier? Well, you get some pretty mind-blowing results. The organizations winning at this don't just treat it like some soft HR philosophy. They bake these multiplier practices directly into their core business metrics. And the numbers are undeniable. The global bank ABN AMRO mapped these multiplier traits straight to their leadership competencies and trained for it. The result? A massive 163% return on investment. 163%, just by changing how leaders engaged with the talent sitting right in front of them. This completely destroys the old idea that to get more done, you just need to hire more people. By tapping into that wasted 34% of intellectual capital we talked about at the beginning, multipliers are effectively doubling the size of their workforce. And they're doing it for free. As we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with Albert Einstein's famous idea that we can't solve our biggest problems using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. So here's my challenge to you. What could your organization achieve tomorrow if you stopped accidentally diminishing your team and instead unlocked that hidden intelligence so every single person became just 1 point smarter? Start multiplying.